Thank you, Chairperson. General, if we can go back to paragraph 27, where you dealt with the call that you received from General Khumalo regarding General Motsepe's call to him. What I wanted to follow up on was whether this was protocol for General Motsepe to call General Khumalo in this manner or on this issue.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioners. And Commissioner, I actually took the cue from you, and I'm using this line every day. Babaribar. I want to say that this call, General Khumalo can attest to, because we both found it odd. So it's not just me who's saying it. I'm not sure if it was in his statement, but I can submit that it is actually factual. And moving further, so in the police, there are not necessarily any prescriptions on who or you can talk to. The National Commissioner can call me directly. The Minister can call me directly. General Motsepe can be called by General Sibiya. General Motsepe can call General Khumalo. So there's nothing anomalous about that. However, on this specific matter, because it was sensitive, there was no designation for her until I called her on the 27th. So that's what I can submit.
But on who can call whom?
Yes.
You mentioned people who would be senior calling those that are junior. Does it work the other way as well?
It works. Maybe before, I'm not sure, I was not there. Like I said, I'm a lateral infusion. A constable can call me and complain about a matter, and I know that before it wasn't allowed, you know. So there are no written down rules in terms of who can call who. And I don't think also it's regulated. But I think there's an understanding that there are people who still say, but I can't call. I would ask, but why didn't you call me, General? But I can't jump my component head and talk to you. So it happens. So self-regulation.
In my early professional years, I was a civil servant, and there was something called channels of communication. Yes. You were bound to talk only to the person immediately above you, and it would be that person that then forwards whatever it is you are raising. But from what you are saying, it seems that no longer applies.
No, thank you, Chair.
Perhaps just to place it or to understand the context, in paragraph 9.3 of the statement, you speak of the various specialized components that you have oversight over.
Yes.
Does General Motsepe, Major General Motsepe, fall under any one of those, and if so, which one?
Yes, Commissioners, she does, and she's the head of serious and violent crime investigations.
Okay, so she reports to you directly?
Directly, yes.
Okay. Right.
Thank you.
And on this kind of project where you've already been tasked by General Sibiya to be responsible for it and engage with General Khumalo, is your evidence that you would have expected she would take instructions from you about this? Is that
in actual fact, she was supposed to wait for instructions from me.
Yes.
Because I was given the mandate to actually do the handing over.
Okay. Thank you.
And then, General, before we return to your statement, before we adjourn for the tea break, you were recounting an incident of where the National Commissioner had instructed you to attend to a matter in Cape Town, and you referred to WhatsApp conversations between yourself and General Sibiya. Can I ask you to go to HKS 7? That's on page 23 of the annexures bundle.
Oh, yes, I am there. Yes.
Can you confirm that this is the conversation you were referencing in your testimony?
Yes, it is.
And then if we could then go to the actual conversation.
Okay. Can I read into the record?
Yes, please.
Yeah, it was after the National Commissioner asked me to go to Cape Town to intervene in that matter of an elderly victim. General Sibiya says to me, I'm advised that I should just keep quiet and let you go. You are free to go to Cape Town. That was in the evening, and in the morning I responded humbly and I said, good morning, Pat, my DNC. I am not perfect, kodwa this one thing I know, ngiyakuhlonipha, ngeke ngenza into ongayithandi. Ngathembisa ukuthi I'll always support and work with you. Ngowami umlomo, lokho zange ngikwashintsha, futhi ngeke kwashintsha nanini. Angisona isitha, futhi ngeke ngaba yiso. Ngicela kungamosheki ubudlelwane bethu emsebenzini, ngiyabonga. Then I tried to call him and he didn't answer.
General, can you translate that for us who are not fluent in isiZulu?
I was saying that as a member working under his command, I'll always respect him. And I'm not here to do anything that could actually be contrary to what I'm supposed to do. But also he mustn't view me as an enemy because I'm not. And probably that I was asking that, can we have a cordial working relationship? I'm not sure if it sums it up, Commissioner. Kunzima translate isiZulu to English.
Thank you, General. And then can you continue on the next page?
So on the next page, the General says, you know why you went to Cape Town and what you are busy with. And you also know why the National Commissioner sent you and not say anything to me about you having to go to Cape Town. I personally know and trust that Makasala can deal with that thing. At least now I know. Then I attached the WhatsApp messages between me and the National Commissioner as proof that actually this is what I was going to do in Cape Town.
You can skip the screenshots to then go to your message.
So in the end, because I could see that he's not backing down and he's put me in a box, I'm not sure which box. I said, I'll leave it at this. I didn't invite this to me. I was acting on instructions and I forwarded this to General Shibiri, who couldn't deal with it because of the wife. And they kept on calling NATCOM to say that we, as the detectives, are not responding. I'll give you both the complainant's numbers and the reporter. I'll also write an info note to NASCOM through you to be recused from the matter, as Shibiri, who was on conference call with me, with the complainant, will take over. The DNC can ask for my redeployment, as this is too much for me and I won't be entangled on anything I don't know. I'm here to work and nothing else.
Thank you, General. And how does this then affect your relationship, particularly during the course of this disbandment and dockets issue?
Yeah, as I said that with General Sibiya, it's a touch and go. We have to work, and I always say to NASCOM, National Commissioner, that I want to be the bigger person, even where challenges can be noted, because at times it could really be extreme, and I think we'll talk to that. So because we had to work together, I became the bigger person. Moving forward, you could see that the messages between him and I on work were quite cordial.
General, and I apologize if you have already dealt with this or explained it. That first message at page 23 from General Sibiya, or that he says from General Sibiya, it doesn't have a context when you look at this these screenshots.
Okay.
And your response, and maybe something in the voice call was said that makes him respond to you, say, I am advised that I should just keep quiet.
And let you go.
So maybe if you could just give us a context to how do things get, what has been said.
Yes.
That brings us to what the two of you now engaging in this way.
After General Sibiya denied that I should go to Cape Town, I had to call NASCOM, who tasked me to say General Sibiya does not want me to leave for for Cape Town. So I sought his intervention. And I believe that then he called General Sibiya, and I don't think he took it kindly.
Okay, all right. So you applied for his approval because you said as the
That's
as your
protocol,
superior.
yes. National Commissioner does not approve my travels, but the DNC does.
Okay, and then he declined it.
Yes.
And then he wrote this to you.
He wrote only after NATCOM intervened to say that I'm advised that I should let you go.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Then, General, let's go back to your statement at paragraph 28. There you were dealing with General Motsepe's testimony that you had informed her sometime in March informally about the disbandments in the dockets. Can you explain what happened there? Or rather, your view on her testimony?
General Motsepe called me on the 23rd of October, 2025. And in the call, she wanted me to confirm that I actually had informed her that the PKTT was going to be disbanded. And she reminded me that this happened at Kotsimampur. And I remember telling her that, General, this is a mistake, because I even checked my call logs on the day to say the only call I have to you, 27 March 2025, and this is when I requested you to accompany me. And when she couldn't get joy with me, I traveled to Abu Dhabi for the week I think I was supposed to appear, and I asked that I be given time because I had to travel for work purposes. On the 13th of November, she then called my support staff, where she inquired if they remember. But the scenery has changed. To me, she said Kotsimampuru, but to my members, she said it was at Vagdays, where the National Commissioner and the DNCs are sitting. And then I think my PA didn't respond to the call.
On your understanding, what was so significant with the timing of when this happened, or when this first happened?
To be honest with you, I suspected that it had to do with the commission, because she actually said that the commission was asking her questions about how she came to know about the disbandment, And I remember I also told National Commissioner to say, actually, National Commissioner, General Motsepe called me, and I find it odd. And I said to him, but also maybe to just give further information, and I did give another message to the evidence leader. On the 9th of July, General Motsepe is the one actually who forwarded to me the letter of the minister. And my other question was, if then I already knew, and I told her, why then would she be giving me this letter only in July? So for me, I am here to say that's my analysis, and I cannot take it beyond that. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, General. So your testimony is that she's incorrect that you called her in March,
Affirmative.
in early March.
Affirmative.
General, then you proceed in your statement at paragraph 30 to deal specifically with the events of March, and you start there with the calls or nudges or inquiries that you were getting from General Sibiya. Can you explain what was happening around that time?
Okay. Actually, since that letter was disseminated to me for implementation, commissioners, General Sibiya did make numerous calls, but also if we met either for meetings, he would always remind that you guys need to conclude the handover process. And the catchphrase would be that I am not following instructions. One of the issues he would say is that I was like Kumalo. I was now not listening to him. I think I'm saying this, and General Kumalo said it as well, to say also he got calls, to say this was not business usual. There was just too much pressure.
You say, General, in the statement that he's, in addition to saying you are now like Khumalo, he said you are dragging, I was dragging my feet in implementing the minister's instruction.
Yes.
You confirm, is
Yes.
Okay.
And General, you explained that this was not the case. Can you explain what was happening that perhaps slowed down the progress of the handover being completed?
In my earlier statement, I think I dealt with the issue of challenges that actually led to me and General Khumalo not meeting. But I think also I cited the some nature of my portfolio. I was not vested in the PKTT. I also had other issues to deal with. I think the example being one of those that raised by the Commissioner today, dealing with FSL matters, would be one of my critical areas.
And so there wasn't a deliberate attempt to frustrate, as it were, the process?
No.
But is it fair to say you did not comply with General Sibiya's 7-day directive?
It's
Because he
fair.
had given you 7 days.
Yes, and already we were in March.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Commissioner.
In fairness, at this stage, you had presented the plan, which was after General Sibiya's letter, and so he would have been in the in-principle meeting where the plan was approved? Sorry, the meeting.
He was in all meetings.
Okay.
Yes.
And so the reminders would have been in terms of the plan?
For me, it's
Or were
both.
they?
Because remember, the plan is implementing his instruction. So you cannot separate the two. For me, they are juxtaposed. Or actually, they are in sync.
All right.
Thank you.
General, you then speak about the meeting that takes place on the 27th of March, and that would have been a follow-up meeting. Can you explain what happened at that meeting?
I think the meeting was set to take place for a specific time. I can't remember the times. I think the Commissioner said age is a factor, so I understand. And in this meeting...
You said so, General. I was only quoting you.
In that meeting, General Khumalo and I were supposed to present progress report emanating from the meeting of the 6th of March. I think the opening slide spoke about 121 dockets. And the minister remembers 125 dockets. And General Khumalo tried to explain that actually during the process, as we were planning to hand over, 4 of those dockets were now trial ready and were placed on the court roll. So that's why the number was reduced from 125 to 121. The other point of contention was that since we met in Cape Town, there's been no handover of the dockets. The dockets were still with the PKTT, and I still sat with no dockets. So both him and I were chastised to say that we are not taking the instructions seriously. And I remember, Commissioner, that I raised my hand to say, Minister, I'm ready. And I'm saying this because, for lack of a better word, I came into the process with honesty. I didn't have information on who was doing nefarious issues so for me it was just implementing the instruction. So I said to him, no, but I'm not against taking the dockets, And I think for General Khumalo, it actually, because he was singled out to say that he's actually unwilling. But Minister also made that comment to say this is a political decision and the President is in the know of that decision. That's what he said in that particular meeting. So then he ended that meeting by saying that he won't engage with us anymore, and he'll only engage with the National Commissioner moving forward. But both Khumalo and I remember Mina was very upset, and I said to National Commissioner, but why should I be the one to take the dockets? And he said to me, because you're the head of detectives. And yeah, I think after the meeting, General Sibiya came to say, you see now what we have done, the minister is not happy with you guys. Yeah, now I'm saying go and conclude the handover process. So it was on that day that I then called General Motsepe to say tomorrow she must accompany me, after engaging with General Khumalo to say, can we finalize this? But I must say also, because he was the most hit, and I think he also wanted this to finish. He really was not happy.
And so because of the pressure and this meeting, you decided to do the handover the very next day?
The very next day. The dockets were already here. General Khumalo brought the dockets to Pretoria. And I will try and clarify, not reading his mind. Because of the pressure, this was not business usual. There was no time to sit and say, okay, maybe we can go to Ntuzuma. I didn't know where the dockets were, for example. I'm just giving an example that maybe, So it was at that moment to say, let's just do the handing over of the dockets.
And so, because of the circumstances, the dockets were now in
Pretoria, in his office, because the following day when we went, it was after I called General Motsepe, she informed me that she was not available, and then Brigadier Khopodi Tata will stand in for her. I didn't call Khopodi Tata on the day, and I'll clarify why. In the meeting that we had on the 6th of March, the Sunday City Press carried an article on the details of the meeting we had. So we were treating this as a sensitive matter, and therefore the briefings would not have been, no, let's bring the people before. Actually, we felt we were doing things as we were moving to actually avert any compromise from the process.
Thank you, General. And so on the 28th with Brigadier Khopodi Tata, you oversaw the handing over process. Can you explain what the process entailed?
Okay.
General, maybe before you do that,
Yes.
Earlier on in paragraph 30, where you speak about General Sibiya would make inquiries with you about the instruction that he has given you, which is to the handover of dockets. I think you readily, or maybe too quickly, conceded to the evidence leader that his inquiries would have been in accordance or consistent with the plan. But I'm not sure about that, because when you look at the plan itself at page 10, it says the handover would have happened on the 26th of March. That's the due date. Is that a mistake? And when I ask you that question,
Yes.
if you look again at paragraph 31, the very first line, you say the handover process was to be completed on the at the statement, paragraph 31 of your statement. So you've got the plan at page 10, and then you've got in your statement at paragraph 31 where you say handover was to happen on the 17th of March.
Okay.
Is there a mistake somewhere?
Yes, there is. I think there are two plans. There's a plan for the 6th that's marked the 17th of March was supposed to be the handover. I'm sure evidence leader, if maybe in interpreting the documents, we mix them up. The second meeting of the 27th, that's where the 26th was. But the initial plan said the 17th of March.
I understand. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, General, you were about to explain the handover process and what this entailed. In particular, was there a briefing given to the members that were there about the process that was going to be undertaken, the purpose and where the dockets were going?
Okay.
I.e., was there a plan?
Yes, there was a plan for the handover, and I think when we all arrived, we went to General Khumalo's office where it was his boardroom, where the dockets were, and General Khumalo and myself, we gave them a briefing that those dockets were not meant to be here, they were in transit to KwaZulu-Natal because they were supposed to go to the Serious and Violent Crimes Unit or the murder and robbery. So the briefing was more on them understanding that the dockets as we take them are not meant to be in head office. And maybe you can ask then, why do we take them from KwaZulu-Natal, bring them here and take them back? And I did say, in General Khumalo, if I read his mind, it was just, you know what, this is how I can do it. Maybe the time, we were both in Pretoria, and it would have been difficult for us to go and maybe rather bring the dockets here than have the teams here hand them over. The bulk of the members would have come from head office who actually were supposed to take the dockets. So that's why then he took the dockets and brought them here to Pretoria. But the ultimate was to move them from PKTT as a unit based in KwaZulu-Natal and take them back to the provincial commissioner and assign them within murder and robbery.
General, why do we not have that plan in writing? So a plan that says once the dockets have been handed over, this is what is to happen to them, this is who is to allocate them, this is how they are to be allocated. Why do we not have that in writing?
Yes, and I must say, as I say, Commissioner, respectfully, this was a very hasty process. I think some of the things would have been hidden under that particular action on the handing over. And I think the discussions in the meeting also informed the approach. It was not what we decided at that particular time.
Because this difficulty arises later on when you now have to say to General Mkhwanazi, here are the dockets, and he says, but what am I supposed to do with them?
With the dockets, yes. Yeah. I'm not going to say it was, I think Colonel Khumalo said, use the word messy. I wouldn't call it messy, but I think for me it was a very hasty process. And I do falter the execution.
In general, what did the audit process entail?
And I must clarify, with your docket audit and inspection, it's thorough. It's what General Mutsipe would have spoken about. But this was basically to check if the dockets we are handing over to the detectives, for example, all the documents are completed and properly filed, verify the contents and ensure that all the information is accurate, and also compare the number of the dockets we have physically with the list we have in terms of the case numbers. So that's basically more like your level one just for the handover process. It was not a detailed docket inspection or docket auditing.
And at this stage, what was the plan as regards moving the dockets then to KZN?
Yeah, in the meeting we did say that, again, taking into account that there were other activities in between, to Hopoditata, I said on the first week of April, these dockets must find their way to KwaZulu-Natal.
And then, General, you explain what then happened with the dockets after this audit process.
Yes.
Where did they ultimately go?
Brigadier Hopoditata had a team with him, and I think Colonel Mdluli was one of them, where they then took, the other instruction was for case management protocols, and also to ensure that there's no interference with with the chain of custody. You keep them safe and safeguard them. So they know, they are experts in terms of what it means to safeguard the dockets and how to actually keep them safe.
And in general, was there an appreciation at the time that the dockets would need to be moved quickly in order to not disrupt the investigation process?
There was. Initially, there was. Yes.
General, you then speak about the first week of April, in particular on the 1st, about a message from Brigadier Hopoditata. Can you explain what happened there?
As per the decision of the 28th, Brigadier Hopoditata sent me a WhatsApp message in the morning reminding me of that decision to say, General, We were supposed to move the docket this week. Can the team go ahead and do their planning, their itineraries, information note for approval? So that was his message. I'm not sure if I did send it to you.
Yes, you have.
Okay.
And you explained that at that time you had other commitments. Can you explain what was happening around the time?
We, as I said, that I'm the co-chairperson of the SAP-Sparks Business Participative Partnership. We were supposed to launch a commitment dinner a day before the policing summit. And I was the steering committee chair for that particular engagement. So as I think one of the things raised by the commissioners, that in terms of protocol, I was supposed to be the one to hand them over to the PC. And also because I was the person entrusted with the responsibility in terms of the action. So I wanted to be there. I then asked Hopotata to give me time that I conclude the two processes, that is now the commitment dinner as well as the policing summit. And then after that, we can make plans.
In general, you then say there were other commitments
Yes.
in the paragraph. Can you explain the other commitments that also tied you?
Maybe before I start responding, that commissioners, policing is one of the most unpredictable vocations you can ever enter into. You can sleep today peacefully, tomorrow you wake up, there's a massacre. You sleep peacefully today, you wake up tomorrow, there's a father who's raped a toddler, So in this instance, just actually it was between the summit, where there was an alleged rape of a minor in the Eastern Cape, which garnered response from social media and nationally, and we had to divert all our resources to the Eastern Cape. So I was seized with the matter together with General Lekele, and unfortunately, again, it stalled my plan to travel to KwaZulu-Natal.
Nothing. Sure, I would do honestly.